Hello and welcome to tonight's LOL Esports Round Up. We're going to cover a handful of teams and their decisions from the last 24 hours or so. Yesterday we did a video over a few teams, and actually two of those three teams reappear again as they made more moves today. First and foremost, we have FlyQuest. This is a move I missed yesterday. Andrew Barton was added as general manager, along with Nuke Duck being head coach. Barton had been the GM of Evil Geniuses since 2019, beginning with the 2020 Spring Split roster. In that time, EG went 102-69 in the regular season, 46-48 in the playoffs, and 18-19 at international events, those two being 2022 MSI and 2022 Worlds. How much credit does he get for finding players like Danny and JoJo Pune? I think one could argue. But I do believe that it is a good thing to try and bring in somebody from, that's even tough to say, with all the hoopla that went on with EG. But in terms of a scouting and player personnel decision-making perspective, it would be good to have somebody that has an idea of who might be good and who's not scouting-wise. Now, obviously, with the Danny stuff, that is a whole nother thing. But in terms of just deciding who is good and who's not, he may have an idea. So he's with FlyQuest now as their general manager. DRX. So Teddy found a home this year in spring. Last year, he actually went teamless for a split and then joined Live Sandbox. With Sandbox, he struggled by his standards. These numbers are still very good. He was alongside a good support in Cal. 3 KDA, 99 CS per minute, 68 1 KP, 433 gold per minute, which was about 24% of the team's gold. 588 damage per minute was 29% of the team's damage. So he and Closer leading the way. On average, down 130 gold, up 3 CS, 80 XP, 7 solo kills, 10 champions in 40 games. He'll be alongside Playeto to start the split as DRX form what they will have for the roster, which is Rascal, Teddy, and 3 rookies. So that's the thing, because Juhan was allowed to leave. So Juhan was the substitute on that 2022 World Championship team. Last year, he was splitting time with Krakow. He would play 33 games across the year, 2-1 KDA, 5-2 CS per minute, 72-6 KP. I will say that I felt like he left a lot to be desired with PSG in 2022 spring, and then he joined the DRX for summer, which confused me at the time because he's putting pressure on Pioshik and then would actually play for Pioshik and get himself a world skin. But regardless, he came back down to earth and kind of showed he was an LCK caliber. It wouldn't shock me at all if he went to a minor region. 312 gold per minute was about 18% of gold, 246 damage per minute, just under 14% of damage. On average, he was behind against LCK junglers, 130 gold, 5 CS, 185 XP, played 10 champions in those 33 games. So a guy with a world skin that very well could end up in Japan, Latin America, Brazil, probably not Oceania. That's really digging deep. But we'll see if Juhan finds a home. JDG, so Yagao has returned to play mid lane. These numbers are Yagao's entire season in 2023. He played 160 games with BLG between spring, summer, MSI, and Worlds. 4-3 KDA, 7-9 CS per minute, 67-4 KP. I say it all the time, Yagao is best served as a third-tier carry on a team. With BLG, he was that. Bin being the secondary carry, and then Shun also stealing some of Yagao's gold, being a carry-oriented jungler. It worked for that reason. Now he joins JDG alongside Kanavi. Kanavi is a carry-oriented jungler at heart. And that will just free up Kanavi once again to play the way he did with JDG and Yagao in the past. 394 gold per minute is about 21% of gold. 563 damage per minute is 24.5% of damage. And only 18 champions in 160 games. That champion pool, once again, not massive. That's been the case for quite a while with Yagao. But he will play champions when his coach asks him to. At least that's what I can assume. So in that case, he has more coachability than Knight. So JDG going that direction. Also, Sheer. So yesterday, Flandre was officially signed, and then I had mentioned that the rumors were that they were going to bring in a player that had nothing known about them really, and it is Sheer. So in China and Korea, and I don't believe this. Well, there are leagues for this in Europe. We have actually a couple people in the Discord that participate in lower tier leagues in Europe, but teams will have their LDL roster or CK roster, and in which case we know about the academy rosters in the LCK in the third tier system. But in China, there are youth teams, third team, fourth team. Like, you can dig really deep in these gaming houses, and that just isn't something that's feasible in America. So to Americans, it doesn't make much. Legally, I don't think a parent legally can it's not like sports where they could say, hey, my kid's drafted to go play hockey, so we're just going to go swap the papers, and he or she is going to go play in North Dakota and go to school there. Like, I don't think that works for video games here like it may work over in Korea or China. I could be wrong about how that all works over there, but when you have younger players like this that you don't know anything about, this is why, because they're able to do things over there that not necessarily they can do over here. At least to my knowledge. I could be wrong. So Sheer is going to be brought up and skip the LDL, leapfrog that, and get a chance to play on the big roster alongside Flandre in top lane. Rumor has it that he's been good in scrims against other teams in preparation for Demacia Cup. Of course, that's a Mickey Mouse tournament. I didn't stutter. I tried to emphasize how that is such a Mickey Mouse tournament that I don't really give a shit less about who wins or what happens in it, outside of watching a player like Sheer or a younger player and just see how they stack up. Because I know the older players have nothing to play for. Nothing at all, in my opinion, unless they're teamless. And then the young players have something to play for as they get their name out there. And I think that's something to note when younger players are against each other. Now, top Esports 369. Speaking of JDG top lane, 369 returns to top Esports. 4-1 KDA, 7-9 CS per minute, 55-3 KP. These numbers are average for a top laner, but 369 is excellent. He is, in my opinion, one of the best in the world. Yes, his Rumble on the spot was not good, but in the end, 369 offers team something that not many other top laners can, which is I can play pretty much anything. A lot of top laners end up being very weak side oriented, carry oriented, and struggle with the opposite, where 369 is one of the best in the world at doing both. 382 gold per minute, under 20% of gold, which is big. I mean, under 20% of resources, and he does his job. 488 damage per minute is 20.7% of damage. 18 champions in 125 games. So, like I said, when I mentioned Yagao, 18 and 160, 369 has just as many in 35 less games. Lastly, LGD, LPC. So, LGD Gaming and LPC was their 80 carry, splitting time with Envy. He was still under contract beyond this offseason, and he's been let go. 2.7 KDA, 9.1 CS per minute, 59.7 KP. These numbers are not good. 408 gold per minute is under 24% of gold. 551 damage per minute, 26% of damage. He was not the carry when he played. He just didn't show up. You're seeing games with Zhaozhu or, frankly, Decade or Fearness or Hai Chao showing up in a big way where LPC really wasn't. I mean, these numbers are not very good. If you're involved in less than 3 out of every 5 kills, you need to be getting farm, and he just wasn't. 14 champions in 56 games. Don't get me wrong, splitting time with splitting time with Envy alongside Jin Zhao doesn't help things by any means, but it's not like he had been doing well and earned the right to keep that job. So, who knows what's going to happen with him. But that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.